The greatest cash heist in U.S. history, how $17 million disappeared. What if I told you one of the biggest heists in history wasn't a high-tech operation or pulled off by seasoned criminals? It was orchestrated by an ordinary vault manager with a dream of living big. This is the true story of the $17 million Loomis Fargo heist, the biggest cash robbery in U.S. history and a tale of how greed brought everyone down. The story begins in Charlotte, North Carolina in the 1990s. Loomis Fargo was one of the most secure cash handling companies in the country, responsible for moving and storing millions of dollars daily. The facility was a fortress, or so they thought. Enter David Ghantt, the man at the center of this audacious heist. David was your average guy, living paycheck to paycheck, working as a vault supervisor at Loomis Fargo, but under the surface he was deeply dissatisfied. Financial struggles and a longing for adventure made him an easy target for manipulation. This is where Campbell, a former co-worker and friend, comes in. Kelly had recently quit her job at Loomis Fargo but kept in touch with David. Knowing his frustrations, she introduced him to Steve Chambers, a small-time criminal with big ambitions. Together, they cooked up a plan that would go down in history. The heist plan was shockingly simple, relying on Ghantt's insider knowledge. He would have full access to the vault after hours, allowing him to load the cash into a Loomis Fargo van. From there, the crew would stash the money in a remote location. Ghantt would then flee to Mexico to avoid suspicion, while the others divided the cash. But pulling off a heist of this magnitude required more than just a plan. Chambers enlisted several accomplices, including family members and friends, to help launder the money and keep things running smoothly. The crew believed they had thought of everything. On October 4, 1997, it was time to execute the plan. Ghantt waited until after his co-workers had left and then sprang into action. He disabled security cameras, loaded $17 million in cash, an astonishing 2,800 pounds of money, into the Loomis Fargo van, and drove off into the night. The sheer scale of the operation was mind-blowing. Imagine duffel bags and boxes overflowing with cash loaded by a single man. But as smooth as the heist seemed, small mistakes would prove to be their downfall. After the heist, Ghantt fled to Mexico, following the plan. Meanwhile, Steve Chambers and his wife Michelle started spending the money almost immediately. They moved into a lavish mansion, bought expensive cars, and even commissioned an oil painting of themselves. Their flashy lifestyle began drawing attention. For Ghantt, life in Mexico wasn't as glamorous as he'd hoped. He was waiting for Chambers to send him his share of the money, but the longer he waited, the more suspicious he became. Unbeknownst to him, Chambers was plotting to cut him out of the deal entirely, and possibly even eliminate him to cover his tracks. Meanwhile, the FBI was hard at work piecing the puzzle together. Inside knowledge, the sheer size of the theft, and Chambers' reckless spending all pointed to a connection. Phone records, informants, and suspicious purchases eventually led investigators straight to Chambers and his crew. In a dramatic twist, the FBI tracked Ghantt to Mexico and lured him into a trap, promising safety. By March 1998, just 5 months after the heist, the entire operation unraveled. In total, 24 people were arrested in connection with the robbery. Despite recovering over $6 million, the majority of the money, more than $11 million, was never found. To this day, it remains one of the great mysteries of the Loomis Fargo heist. David Ghantt served over 5 years in prison, while Steve Chambers and others received longer sentences. Their plan for a life of luxury ended in disgrace. Ironically, most of the stolen money didn't bring anyone happiness. It brought suspicion, betrayal, and regret. Today, the Loomis Fargo heist is remembered not just for its scale but for the sheer audacity of its execution. It's been immortalized in movies, books, and documentaries, serving as both entertainment and a cautionary tale about greed and human folly. The Loomis Fargo heist was an extraordinary crime, but it reminds us that no amount of money can escape the weight of justice. So, what do you think? Could they have succeeded if they'd been more careful? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more incredible heist stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.